How cool would it be for you to know every time you did a deal somewhere over 200 grand range, if you did it owner financing, and if you did it in the 48-month range for a term, you're guaranteed six figures. Hey guys, it's Chris Prefontaine with another Deal Structure Sunday. I am joined by Bill Reich, High Six Associate out of DC. You probably know Bill well now. He's cranking out deals. And I specifically wanted to chat about owner financing because he's got a really cool deal. And I always say, well, like I said just then in the opening, that these are six-figure deals almost every single time, and sometimes up into the multiple six-figure deals. And I guess my teaser for you before I ask Bill to go over his deal would be, seriously, how many of these do you need to structure an amazing year cash-wise? And disclosure, and it's at the end of the video, please don't take this as every deal you do will be this, and every deal you do, you're going to make a fortune, and every deal you do is not going to have a headache. I didn't say that. These are just examples, happen to be Bill's real examples, or examples from other students and us. So with that as a disclosure, Mr. Bill, welcome back.
Thank you, Chris. Glad to be with you.
So without getting into nuances, which you did in the last one, let's do kind of a bullet. What's the source on this one?
Source is, again, a Slybroadcast.
So Slybroadcast expired. Yep. And for those of you who might have missed Bill's last video, or I don't even know what order these are coming in at, watch it, because we talked about a subject too that he got from an expired, and a majority, if not all, of Bill's lead gen is expired, but he automates it through Slybroadcast. Okay, so another expired. Go ahead. Any kind of background before we do numbers?
Yeah, this was very interesting. This was somebody who I guess we spoke with maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago, who was faced with the prospect after having a tenant move out, tenant for the past 3 years. What does she do with the house? She's a horse veterinarian way out in horse country in Marshall, Virginia. And it was just too much. She had moved out. She had rented it out. She didn't want to deal with tenants anymore. There were some definite repairs that needed to be made. I came in and we talked about my taking over the property at about $425. She opted to do the repairs herself, put in about $50,000 and said, I'm just going to put it on the market. And she did a pretty nice job. She replaced bathroom fixtures. She updated the kitchen, repainted the house, repaired a garage door, really did a nice job. But 6 months later, she calls me up. She said, she actually texted me. She said, are you still doing your thing? Because I haven't been able to sell it and I'd love to talk to you.
Wait, can I comment on that? This is facetious but real. So she said, are you still doing your thing? It's an accurate question in her defense, because some students either take QLS and, believe it or not, even come into associate, a few of them, and then just try it and then quit. Are you kidding me? So if you tried it for 90 days, like some people have done, you wouldn't have got that call.
Exactly. And as I explained to her, I'm too dumb to quit. So, you know.
All right. So it takes follow-up, and some deals take, we've been in this long enough to know that some deals take 3 or 4 years to come back. So you got to stick with it. Okay, go ahead, Bill. The numbers.
Exactly. So I went out to see her. She did a great job. She had it on the market for $475. It's free and clear. So we talked about numbers, and she agreed to take $460 on a financing deal. So we're going to give her a first trust. It's going to be paid within 5 years.
So 60, you got 60 months out of this.
60 months.
Sweet.
Paying her $1,500 a month, principal only.
Okay, so $1,500 on a $460 house. That's huge.
Yep. Taxes and insurance about $450. So all in, we're going to be at $1,950 a month.
Oh, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Your taxes you're passing on to your buyer, so you're only into it for $15 plus insurance, which is what, another $150?
150, 200, yeah, maybe.
So let's call it 200. Let's be safe. So we're into this for $1,700 because you're passing the taxes on to the buyer.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, the gross rent to the buyer is going to be about $2,650. So that's why I was looking at the
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and 2650, I think, is again very, very conservative. I like to do my projections conservatively, but I'll probably put this out at around 2,800 a month.
Yeah, well, let's do this live so people see it. So on an owner financing deal, Bill got a great price with the seller, but if he had to negotiate with her in any shape, form, or fashion, and she was pulling back, trying to get like what she thought market rent was or whatever, he could just pull out his mortgage calculator and say, well, no, if a buyer's going to buy this house, and I'll do it real quick live here for you guys on the easy loan calculator, it's not difficult. You take 460, they're probably going to need 20% down. Let's just call that 90 grand. 90 grand off of that is 370. So they go out and they get a mortgage for 370 at, let's say, 5%. I'm just doing a rough idea so you can see how we do it. You come up with 1986 without taxes. And they don't have to pay homeowners insurance. So without homeowners insurance. So Bill's in real good at 1,500. I mean, in theory, he could rent that out for a tenant buyer for 1,900 if you wanted to and still make money, but you're going to go 2,650.
Call it 2,650. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be, there's potentially $800 a month in cash flow in addition to the $1,500 a month pure principal pay down. Man.
So let's sum it up then. So payday one, let's assume 5%, not 7, just to be safe. So you're talking about what, 25 grand again?
26.5.
Yep. And then payday two, if your buyer only goes, what are you going to figure, 48?
I think in 48 months, it's about 34,000 in cash flow.
Okay.
And then the back end, for a 4-year sale, I'm going to price the house at $529.9. That might be pushing it.
I don't think so. For 4 years.
No, I think it's somewhat safe. So the back end with the principal payment and the profit on the sale of the property is about $115,000 for a grand total of roughly $175,000 for a $460,000 house.
I'd rather have you do 3 of those all day long than 5 sandwich leases.
Yeah, I'm willing to do 3 of those a month.
That's sweet. All right, so here's something I want to point out. If they didn't see your last video, let me summarize something real important here. I was at an event, Ed Rush's event, Bill, and I was talking to the people in the audience, and I said, look, forget like the big checks and all that for a second. Bill, just out of thin air, essentially, created 2 payday 2s, so his last 2 deals, that totaled around round numbers, 34,000 each per deal. Well, let's go with only per month. One was 800, one was what?
700-800.
Okay.
About the same.
So let's say 1,500. Let's go with that. So 1,500 cash flow per month created on 2 deals that's going to last 4 or 5 years and may last more.
Yep.
But I just want people to think about that for a second. What would you need in the bank or in the risky stock market to kick you 1,500 a month in free cash flow? It's a huge number. It's almost infinite return. Now, granted, Bill has to put a little money in that last house we talked about. But even if he did, he's getting that back from the buyer. So now he's talking infinite return on payday 2. I just wanted to point that out. It's huge. And cash flow for people watching this, Bill, you know this because you came in not cranking deals. That to create new cash flow is an enormous thing for people. It changes a lot of things with their personal budget, et cetera. It can pay for their house with those 2 deals. Crazy. Anywho. Any thoughts on your end then, other than what I just said? That's huge.
No, like I said before, I'm really focused on these owner financing and acquiring property subject to, because I see the definite upside in ownership versus controlling the property. And it's not to say I'm going to turn my back on a good sandwich lease or an AO. Yeah. Where I can generate some immediate cash, but yeah, that's my new focus at this point.
Real cool. And Bill,
a lot of my marketing at this point is geared to that kind of seller. Yeah.
And I'll give them a little takeaway here. If they go to smartrealestatecoach.com/prop stream, an amazing resource. I know you use it daily. smartrealestatecoach.com/prop stream. Guys, thanks for listening to another Deal Structure Sunday. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. You'll get not only the Deal Structure Sundays, but the Thursday Q&A, the Monday Motivation, and the Wednesday podcast, in addition to other content we throw out there. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, most definitely do that. Go over to smartrealestatecoachpodcast.com. Lastly, if you haven't registered for, we only do 2 events a year. They're not free promo events. They're content-rich events, business scaling and Quantum Leap systems, once each per year. Get yourself registered. The Quantum Leap is in the fall, always September-ish, in beautiful Newport. And the business scaling is, guess where? Newport, in April or so. So that's it. Bill, thanks for being on again. And thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.